for her OnlyFans.
That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. You lying right through your motherfucking white teeth.
Yes, so we was filming it
yellow.
for OnlyFans, and she didn't want nobody to know.
That's a lie.
Did the guy know?
He knew that she was a trans, yeah.
No, but did she know that his dick is gonna be on OnlyFans?
Michael, he's lying, nigga. Don't believe
Yes, he did.
But you're not gonna put his face
him.
to him. Whoa. She paying for the dick.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I don't mind with paying for dick. I don't. I've done it.
For real.
I don't mind. It's just because.
Where you met? Is this like a homeless guy? Where you met this guy?
No, not a homeless
No, that
guy.
one was earlier.
No, it's just I don't mind
Do
with
tell.
paying for
Please,
dick.
do tell.
I don't mind because I have a thing with like watching guys jack off. So I actually would. I paid a few guys just to watch.
How much would you pay Michael Blackson to jack off?
Well, that's a lot of payment because he got a lot of meat.
You know,
It came from his girlfriend, not me.
I'm gonna be respectful.
What the hell?
She's
The girlfriend
spreading
here.
rumors over
I
there.
can't-
Your girlfriend.
I can't do nothing like that, but I'm just saying, like
Rumors.
my offer to Michael, like I mean, offer guys is like $200, $300.
Oh hell. No.
But Sydney, tell him how much you would make off of them on OnlyFans.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about no OnlyFans. Shut the fuck up. Nah, that's my. Shut the fuck up. You get the fuck out. Go back
No,
there.
you're
Go back
jealous.
there.
It's not the Sydney
Go
show
back
anymore. It's
there.
Michael's show, bitch.
No, you shit your.
Throw your drink, bitch, and see what happens.
You shit the.
With this video, I don't even know where to begin, but I feel it's a perfect starting point for my self-esteem series. So, I don't know if y'all heard, but apparently Sidney Starr is out here paying for deck. Someone who claims to have been in like over 10 TV shows is paying like average Dusties to be like on her OnlyFans. There's a lot to dissect with that particular interview, from the low-class ratchetry to the messy queen she dragged along, but let's just focus on her paying for Dusty deck for now. Like, oftentimes we see like propagated in the media that being a Black trans woman is all about, suffering and struggle and disenfranchisement, and I do think there is some truth to that. But at the same time, I also don't think that we maneuver through society in the way that we should. If you're living in the Western world, like America, Europe, Australia, or whatever, I do think that being trans can be a blessing rather than a curse if you like play your cards right. Given the narrative that is out there, it should be pretty much every trans girl's like goal to, not just survive, but to thrive. Most especially if you're Black. Being trans already subjects you to a level of discrimination and danger that the average person will never have to deal with. And it forces you to maneuver through society in unconventional ways. Like employment and housing have traditionally been hard to come by, forcing many of us to resort to, sex work in order to survive. Given these circumstances, I think our tolerance for bullshit should be at an all-time minimum. What Sidney basically did by paying that man to be on her OnlyFans was establishing that he was the prize and that it was her who should be grateful to be in his presence. Like, there's plenty of men who would have done her OnlyFans for free, and just by the nature of her being a trans woman, many would just pay for the solo content. I mean, she's a pretty girl, despite her clownish behavior, but deep down, it doesn't seem like she herself has internalized it. Over and over, I see that we're constantly beaten down with the narrative of hopelessness, and that because of that, I think that we sometimes forget the power that we hold. And I think it's a power that society is really afraid of. Only because, like, our existence challenges the flimsy cis-normative model that they've constructed and really proves that their house is, like, built of straw rather than bricks. I think, like, for, like, thousands of years, we've pretty much engendered in the masses a sense of fascination. And I'm sorry, but, like, our allure is undeniable. our influence is not to be downplayed. Like the very lingo that we've created for ourselves and have used for like decades, like in the ballroom scene, is pretty much on like every TV show. Every like average person's talking about some yes queen, slay, reading, throwing shade, spilling tea. And it's like in the past 7 years, there's been like an explosion of cis women getting their faces chiseled and their asses pumped to give our aesthetic. So it's like, as a trans girl, how dare you think lowly of yourself? So low that you would entertain dust. If a man can only see you past 12 at midnight, don't entertain him without substantial payment. Like my grandmother always said, like, wet pussy and dry pockets just doesn't fucking match. If he can't take you on a date, he is not boyfriend material. If he isn't hardworking and determined, he is not worth your time. Like, this should just be like basic shit. We keep entertaining bummy trade or men who only fetishize us for our body parts and then also complain about being seen as fetishes. Like, it's really contradictory and it doesn't make any sense. It's like, as a woman, you set the standard. Every time you allow that guy to send you a dick pic without immediately cutting him off, you set the standard for the next girl that comes after you. Our blessing, like, believe it or not, is actually in our scarcity. Because, like, the average man is far more likely to come across a cis woman than a trans woman because vagina is abundant. I mean, it's not just true for everyday life, but even in the sex industry. And I think that our rarity that we possess gives us the ability to demand more. I personally do like phone sex work, and I also do webcam work. And this fact is like always like in the back of my mind, like all the time. Like, because of this, I always charge more than cis white women do. And I would even argue that I think that Black cis women should be doing the exact same thing, being that there aren't really many of us like in the industry. It's like the sex industry is pretty much dominated by like white cis women. So when you break the monotony up, I do think that gives you more leverage to go ahead and charge for your time and your services. I don't know, it's just like this line of thinking can be like applied to everyday life too. It's like, demand thoughtful dates, demand birthday celebrations, anniversary celebrations, demand to meet family, demand to have a man who is unashamed to claim you, and especially demand that he takes care of you. It's like, again, we know that transitioning is expensive and that life in general when you're trans is harder. If he wants 50-50 dates and is unsupportive of your goals, then send him back to cis women who are willing to settle for that. Like me, personally, I've always made sure I was taken care of by every man that I've dated. And if that became a problem, then I just send him on his way. Like, you should be okay with being alone. Like, it's okay to be like alone, but never lonely. Most men aren't even worth the chaos that they introduce in your life when you're cis, let alone when you're trans and you have so many other issues to deal with. And if you're going to be burdened by his presence, then why not get something out of it? I mean, you're sharing your body with him. So at the very least, he should be able to offer you something. He should be taking care of you, not the other way around. Because I do see like instances of like girls taking in these hobosexuals as well. And it's like, oftentimes I see people claim that trans women don't love themselves. And then the response is always, well, we do love ourselves because transitioning is an act of self-love. But I do believe that for many of us, that aspect only extends to the exterior and that a physical transition isn't enough. But it also has to be done mentally and emotionally as well, if you know what I mean. Honestly, I think that a lot of the girls suffer from imposter syndrome. They tell the world that they're women, but they don't exactly believe it themselves. So it shows in the way that they behave and the expectations that they have for men that they date and the standards that they set for themselves. It's like the narrative that you're confident is just not aligning with reality. But yeah, that's all I have for now. Comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic. because I do think this is something that we should be discussing more often. I don't see why, as Black trans women, we're still having discussions about trade. It's getting to the point where I feel like maybe the cis women are onto something and that we actually are trying to compete with them for these men. And given our high murder rates, I just don't understand why they should be the last demographic of men we should ever want to deal with. But that's all for now. I'll talk to you all again for the next installment of the series. Bye.